900 million people are now using ChatGPT every single week. That's not a typo. 900 million. And I've spent the last month watching how people actually use this thing, colleagues, friends, strangers in coffee shops with their laptops open. And here's what I keep seeing. Someone opens ChatGPT, types "write me an email to my boss about being late," gets back something that sounds like it was written by a corporate robot from 2015, and then just accepts it. Copies it. Sends it. And I'm sitting there thinking, you just used a Ferrari to drive to your mailbox. You have access to what might be the most powerful tool ever built for knowledge work, and you're treating it like a slightly fancier Google. Welcome back to Zero Index. And look, I'm not here to make anyone feel bad about how they've been using ChatGPT, but I am here to tell you that after 3 weeks of testing, documenting, and honestly being a little obsessive about this, the gap between how most people use this tool and how it can actually perform is genuinely shocking. So here's the thing nobody talks about. The way most of us learn to interact with the internet trained us for a completely different kind of tool. You go to Google, you type a few keywords, you scan the results, you click a link. That's the pattern burned into our brains. And when ChatGPT came along, we just carried that pattern over. We type short queries. We expect the first answer to be the final answer. We don't converse, we just ask and receive. And this is where I want to be honest with you about something. I did this too. For months. I type something like "explain quantum computing" and get back a perfectly fine overview that I could have found on Wikipedia in 30 seconds. I was using a thinking machine to fetch information. That's like hiring a master chef to microwave your leftovers. The research on this is actually kind of brutal. Studies show that clarity in prompts reduces irrelevant results by 42%. But here's the kicker, most users don't even know what a clear prompt looks like. They're not being lazy. They've just never been taught that this tool responds to the quality of the conversation. When I started treating ChatGPT less like a search engine and more like a brilliant but literal-minded collaborator who needs actual context, everything changed. And this is where it gets interesting. I started cataloging every bad interaction I had, and every bad interaction I watched other people have, and it always came down to 3 mistakes. Always. The first is unclear instructions. You say "help me with my presentation" and the model has to guess, what kind of presentation? For whom? What's the goal? What's your style? You've given it nothing to work with, so it gives you nothing useful back. The second mistake is missing context. I watched someone ask ChatGPT to write a follow-up email without ever telling it what the original conversation was about. The AI literally cannot read your mind or your inbox. It only knows what you tell it in that moment. And the third mistake, this one surprised me, people skip verification entirely. They treat the first response as gospel. But here's the thing. Refining your prompts, pushing back, asking for revisions, this improves output quality by 2 to 5 times. Most users never do it. They get an okay answer and move on, leaving 80% of the value on the table. So what does this mean for you? It means every interaction you have with ChatGPT is a negotiation, not a transaction. You're not ordering off a menu. You're collaborating with something that gets better the more you invest in the conversation. Now here's something I only figured out recently, and honestly it kind of blew my mind. The longer you talk to ChatGPT in a single conversation, the worse it gets. Not because it's tired or whatever, but because these models have what's called a context window, essentially a limit on how much information they can hold in active memory at once. And as your conversation grows, older information starts getting pushed out. I tested this myself. Started a conversation, gave it detailed instructions about a project, and then 60 messages later asked it to reference those instructions. It couldn't. It had essentially forgotten. So what does this mean for you? It means sometimes you need to start fresh. Consolidate your key instructions. Treat long conversations like a document that needs editing, not an endless scroll. Most people stop here, which is a mistake. Because while everyone's still typing basic questions and accepting mediocre answers, ChatGPT has evolved into something genuinely different. It's running on GPT 5.4 thinking now, which doesn't just respond, it actually thinks. Step by step. For minutes if it needs to. I gave it a complex business problem recently, told it to think through all the implications before answering, and watched it reason through scenarios I hadn't even considered. Canvas lets you edit entire spreadsheets and documents collaboratively. Memory means it now remembers your writing style, your goals, your preferences across every conversation forever. You don't have to repeat yourself anymore. And agentic mode, this is where it functions as an actual co-pilot, taking actions, not just suggesting them. The app generates hundreds of millions of images monthly. There are millions of custom GPTs built for specific tasks. And the question nobody's asking is, why isn't everyone doing this already? I think it's because these features require you to invest 5 minutes in learning them. And we've been trained by social media to expect everything to be frictionless and instant. But the friction is where the value is. So here's the actual fix. The structure that changed everything for me. Every good prompt has 5 components, and once you know them, you can't unsee how incomplete most requests are. First, the task, what specifically do you need done? Not vague, specific. Second, the audience, who is this for, because an explanation for a CEO looks completely different than one for an engineer. Third, context, what does the AI need to know to do this well? Fourth, constraints, what should it avoid, what are the limits, what's the tone? And fifth, output format, how should the final result actually look? I started applying this structure to everything. And I want to give you a concrete example. Instead of typing "write me a LinkedIn post about my new job," I now type "write a LinkedIn post announcing my new role as marketing director at Vertex Technologies," for an audience of former colleagues and potential clients who should see me as confident but not arrogant. Avoid cliches about being excited for the journey, keep it under 150 words, conversational tone with one light touch of humor. The difference in output quality isn't subtle. It's like the gap between a stock photo and a commissioned portrait. And here's the final thing, the mindset shift that separates people who get mediocre results from people who get exceptional ones. Prompt engineering is iterative. Your first prompt is a draft, not a final attempt. You review the response, you notice what's missing or wrong, you refine your wording, you add context, you simplify where it's too complex. Most users treat the first response as final and walk away. The people extracting real value from this tool treat every conversation as a feedback loop. I've started thinking of it like this. ChatGPT is a mirror. It reflects back the quality of thought you put in. Vague input, vague output. Precise input, precise output. It's not magic. It's leverage. And right now, 900 million people have access to that leverage, but maybe 1% are actually using it. The question is which group you want to be in. The tools are only going to get more powerful from here. The people who learn to use them properly now aren't just going to be more productive, they're going to be operating in a different category entirely. If that's the kind of edge you want, subscribe to Zero Index because this is what we do here. Figure out what the technology actually offers and make sure you're not leaving it on the table.